Welcome back. So today on navigating vision loss, today's eye opener is going to be that first, to understand vision loss, you have to understand vision. Now, you may roll your eyes, no pun intended at that, and say, yeah, we all learned that in whatever grade, 6, 7, 8. But let's just do a quick review. Because again, I really believe you have to understand how we see. Not too complicated, but just sort of the basics. How we see, what our vision is made up of, to understand then how one can lose parts of it. It'll help clarify, your thinking on what individual vision loss can look like, because it doesn't all look the same. In fact, you could argue no two people are the same. But anyway, so you have the eye, right? Now, first off, we have to start with the fact that you don't see with your eyes. That's kind of an eye opener. You do not see with your eyes. You see with your brain. Your eyes are merely the conduit to your brain. So you have your eye. You have a lens on the outside. Light comes in, hits the lens. It is refracted or bent, basically. And it's directed to the back of the eye, which is where the retina is. The retina is this very thin layer of cells and other things that basically picks up the light and then sends it down the optic nerve to the brain. And your brain is where it gets interpreted and put into what we know as vision. So, of course, if you wear glasses, that helps change where the light is coming into so that it pinpoints on the right part of your eye, within your eye, to get the clearest vision. But let's just say you don't have glasses on. So the light comes in the front, goes through the eye, hits the back of the eye, the retina, and then is processed and sent down the optic nerve to the brain. Okay, easy enough. That's the quick overview, class. The retina are these highly sensitive cells on the back of your eye. And as the retina processes light, if there are areas on the retina that don't work or that are dead or are dying, then the light that is being kind of like a movie being shown to the retina, being pointed at the retina, those areas where the retina is dying or is dead don't work and then don't send the right signals back to the brain. That's kind of the easy way to look at it. So depending on where the area of degeneration is on the retina, if it has a pattern, or if it's just kind of all over the place, then that will in turn dictate much of the vision loss if it's a retina disease that you have, which is what I have. So the retina is critical. The retina at this point, by the way, you don't really replace retinas. There are some kind of studies and some work that's being done, gene therapy, other things. It will happen someday, but right now you can't go and get a retina transplant that's going to work and then you just go on your merry way. But that's the overview of vision, okay? Light in the front, processed through the eye, and then onto the retina and to the brain. The human field of vision, I've seen kind of the numbers all over the place on this, but we have about 150 or 160 degree field of vision, meaning kind of like that left to right, up to down, like how at the very edges, how far out can you see, okay? The center vision, where you read or when you look somebody in the eye, that's your center vision, your central vision. The central vision has the most amount of cells and is the most sensitive. So there is where we get our clearest vision, right? That's where, we wear glasses or we don't, but that's where we are the sharpest. That's why when we look at something, that's the center vision. That's the main vision. Now, some eye diseases take away your center vision first, like macular degeneration. Just a terrible eye disease, very prevalent, but it starts in the middle and it takes out your center vision. So being able to read or look at a cookbook or use the computer or even look somebody in the eye, that is taken away from you. My eye disease is sort of the opposite of macular degeneration. Now, macular degeneration is more about the macula, which is more towards the front. But in terms of how it presents and what it does, it's in reverse of macular degeneration. Mine basically starts at the very edges of my vision, way out on the left and right, up and down. And which is also, by the way, called your peripheral vision, right? So mine has been eating away at the peripheral vision and closing in. So I get the term tunnel vision, which it does accurately describe kind of what it's like, but it really doesn't. But basically your vision is closing in on you and you're left with just your center vision. Now, what would really be horrible is if, you live long enough that someone like me gets macular degeneration, which would then just take away the center vision. I also say that this would be the rolling of the rock in front of the cave. That would be it. If my own eye disease doesn't take away my center vision first, getting something like macular degeneration would. But that's how my vision works. Kind of from the outside in, it takes it away. Slowly, if you live long enough and depending, it will close up. But that can take a long time. Sometimes people with certain retina diseases, it happens much earlier, but we will see. Now, it's not easy just to say that, like, I can see in certain parts and I can't see in other parts, and everything's gone everywhere else. It is and it isn't. It is so variable, depending on so many things, but primarily amount of light. Light is crucial to how I see. The amount of light I require is it's kind of annoying to a normal vision person, the normally sighted. It can be a lot. But on the other hand, I'm extremely sensitive to light. When you go to the eye doctor and they're looking at you and they're using that device and they put it up to your face really close and he's looking at the back of your eye, your retina, and he uses that white light and he kind of does the scan across the front of your eye with that little handheld device. They have to use it on the lowest setting and usually a different color for me. Otherwise, it's like a lightning bolt in my brain. So we're very sensitive to light, yet we need high levels of light. This is one of the reasons that I love to be in the South, like Florida. I go to Florida a lot. I feel better when I'm there for a variety of reasons. One, I'm not cold. Two, I'm often more relaxed. I love palm trees, but it's that I can see more. I still have the dead areas, like where the retina is dead, and you can't fix that. But the volume of light affects my perception of how I see. It's so complicated. It's so not black and white. So something like the level of light, critical. Contrast, critical. The colors, are we talking black against white or white against black? Are we talking, blues and greens or browns and purples? That all matters. It doesn't always mean that if there's good contrast, I will see well, because that just doesn't happen either. But it helps me see and helps me function. How tired I am, I have found over the years, really can make a difference on how I do. And I think I get tired because of my vision, but also when I'm tired, just in general, I tend not to see as well. I just don't, because I think seeing for me requires such a high level of energy that if I don't have that energy, then I just see worse. So that's the overview of the eye. Typical types of vision loss from the center or from the outside in, like me. And one of the reasons I just want to pass along that I don't like terms like tunnel vision is that it gives the impression that you, or at least that I, can see nothing, or that it's completely black where I have vision loss, and it's not. I tell people when I give my talks, it's not that you see black or dark, it's just that it's not there. The brain is an amazing organ, and it's even hard to describe, but it's so good, the brain, at processing and putting things together to help us, that vision loss, even for people that are fully blind, that after birth lose their vision, it's not actually like dark, like you're looking into space and with no stars. It's much different than that. And we'll talk about that as I go on here. But so that's the overview of the eye and how the eye works, how vision loss can present itself. So one of the first questions I always get is, how did my parents figure out that I had an eye disease when we were just infants? And back in the mid 60s, when Christopher, one of my older brothers who has the eye disease, when he was little and he was going to bed, just like every other kid, he would ask for a glass of water, or my mom would just bring him a glass of water. Except with Christopher versus Bob, the older brother who does not have the eye disease, with Christopher, he wouldn't see my mom with the glass of water. He didn't know she was there. He didn't know that she was even holding a cup of water. Now, this led to a lot of issues, but it led us down the path of what is wrong, frankly, with the boys, and boys being Christopher and Kevin. I'm going to explore, as I do these recordings, everything that I can recall that went on. Now, I was very young, but I've had a lot of discussions with my mom and other family members about, what it was like back then in the late 60s and the early 70s. I have all the newspaper clippings about us and various things that my mom and dad were very involved in trying to understand what we were going through and to help figure it out. So there's a lot there. But we covered the eye. We covered the eye so that you have an idea of how the eye works. I don't think people really think about it, which is understandable because you don't have to unless you have an issue. So my eye opener for today is just that when you have vision loss, it's not dark and it's not black or white. It's not you see or you do not see. And this is going to be a reoccurring theme in what I do, because I firmly believe that people, the sighted world, as I like to refer to everyone as, really thinks and understands that it's just you're either blind, no vision at all, or you see. And that's could not be farther from the truth. If you read my piece that I mentioned in my first recording, then you'll see how I explain that. But there's nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is everything lies in the middle somewhere. And the fact is that very few people, actually have no light perception and are completely in the dark. It's very rare. I hope that you'll stick with me as we do this, as I continue on explaining sort of the history first to bring us up to where I am today, where Christopher and I are where we're going with this and what our goals are. Again, if you want to email me, I'd really appreciate it. It's Kevin@successwithvisionloss.com. Kevin@successwithvisionloss.com. Email me anytime. I'd love to answer any questions that you may have. And I think there'll probably be more and more questions as I go on here. But please send me an email. Visit my site. If you do go to successwithvisionloss.com, right there on the homepage is at the bottom sort of is a bubble where you can sign up to receive notifications of whenever I put out a new recording. I hope you'll do that. Otherwise, enjoy your time. Enjoy your peace. Make it a good one. Life is short and live it well. Thank you.